Good morning. Good morning. Trying to get everything situated here. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I haven't been live in a while. I've been doing a lot of recorded videos, but I'm live today and I'm excited about that. So I'm sure some of you will probably pop on throughout. Maybe you'll pop on a little bit later. We normally post our videos at 7, so I thought I'd just hop on a little bit live. If you are on with me, then say hi. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that you're here. And here's another big question. Let me know if you like this format better. It's a little bit more work. So let me know, comment, make sure I'm seeing all my comments on Facebook. Sorry for my hand in the screen. There we go. Now I see your comments. Good morning, Katie. Good morning, Monica. We are here. Okay, I'm going to dive right into this because I'm so excited about this week. And in fact, I was recording the videos ahead of time earlier in the week, last week, just because with kids and stuff, it's easier. But I kind of knew that this week might need a little bit more explanation and it might be a little more fun to jump on live with you. So I am live and I might just keep doing this week. And I will also give you a forewarning. Put your big girl panties on today. We are talking about some big girl stuff this week. And I think it's good. You know, I kind of questioned myself when I was writing this. Oh, this is too much. Like, it's really not the sweet, be thankful for everybody. And then we've talked about, being grateful and how to show our gratefulness to other people, which has been so sweet and cute. But today we're going to talk about bless, that word bless, thankful, grateful, bless, and what it really means. What are the characteristics of someone who is living the blessed life? And I know I also use that term when we're talking about finances. So this is not that. This is, the blessed life. So without further ado, let me move my screens around just for a moment and get into these because I actually wrote some notes. So this week, if you started your devotional yesterday and you got a little insight to the week, we are studying Matthew 5, verses 3 through 12. To be honest with you, I'm not going to have time to go through all of these verses the way that I probably would in a normal series, but I thought, let me just give you a couple of them, and then I will make sure you have the tools to be able to study yourself. So this is the Sermon on the Mount. So Jesus, in his prime of ministry, he has these chapters in Matthew 5, 6, and 7, I believe. All the scholars out there, don't quote me too hard, okay? Don't get me in trouble if I'm wrong. But he is giving his sermon to the people. He's standing on the mountain and he's giving this sermon to this whole crowd of people. And he starts off with these verses in Matthew 5. And these are commonly known as the Beatitudes. The Beatitudes, what we're going to dive into this week. So what does that mean? The Beatitudes are the Beatitudes, the word that's used there, like the Hebrew word, means blessings. That's why we're talking about this week, because thankful, grateful, blessed. But another interpretation, not actual meaning, but the way that these can kind of be described are the attitudes to be. So the Beatitudes, the attitudes to be. These are the characteristics that Jesus is describing to us to say, hey, if you're going to be a follower of me, then you need to have these characteristics, these attitudes. And I'm going to describe to you why and the blessings and the benefits that come from these attitudes to have. One of the people that I study says this. He says, all of these characteristics, traits that are listed are marks and goals of all Christians. It's not as if we can major in some and exclude some others. We need to at least goal and strive to embody all of these attitudes. When it comes to spiritual gifting, some are teachers and preachers and, or we all have different parts. We're all the hands and the feet and the different parts of the body. Those can be picked up. We're not going to have all of those spiritual giftings. We're going to have one, maybe two, maybe we're going to work and serve in a few areas. But these attitudes and characteristics, again, this week I'm not going to have time to go through all of them, but I have started from the top and we're going to go through and get through as many as we can, and then you can study. Today's verse says this, and I'm reading really tiny font, so don't make fun of me. It says in Matthew 5, verse 3, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." Blessed is the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And so what is he saying? Poor in spirit. Well, yeah, I'm poor. I'm broke. I don't have money, right? That's what we're all thinking. But what he's talking about here is the poor in spirit. This is I think the best way that I feel like I can describe this is a perception of oneself. That I perceive in myself and I know of myself that I am nothing without God. That I'm poor in spirit, that I am nothing without God. And when I have that recognition within myself that I am nothing, right? That I can achieve nothing, I bring nothing to the table. When I have that recognition of myself, then it says, the poor in spirit, blessed are the poor in spirit, that I will have that blessed life, that characteristic. If I make sure that I know I'm nothing without God, then I can have the kingdom of heaven. Again, this sounds really pretty. Lots of people have it on their wall, but it might be a little harder to actually live out. Charles Spurgeon says this, "Not what I have, but what I have not is the first point of contact between my soul and God." So when we're recognizing like, man, I am nothing without God, that's the place that we need to start. I think it's no accident. And from the studies that I've done this week and with the theologians that I read, it's no accident that this is the first beatitude because, and I'm going to talk about this later in the week, I think that these kind of build upon each other and you need all of them to we do when we come to Christ and we bring all of our muck to the table. And maybe you can flash back in your mind. You remember that day of like, man, I remember when I came in, I thought I was just the worst person in the world. It couldn't get any worse than this. And I was just so bad. And I recognized how much God loves me. And I threw all my muck on the altar and I said, God, I am nothing without you. I need you in my life. That is the perception that we need to keep in our life. Sometimes people maybe get ahead of themselves because they get some accomplishments under their belt or they've got some money in their hands. And so they're able to make things happen in their life. Friends, if we're not careful to make sure that we keep the perception of God, everything that I have is yours. Every blessing that I have is yours. I want you to use me. I want to remember and always keep in mind that if you are not a part of my life, then those blessings don't happen. If you are not a part of my life, then I cannot grow, that I cannot have peace, that I cannot have joy. Another theologian writes in here that this whole perception of poor in spirit, blessed are the poor in spirit, that word blessed is also talking about a joy that is so deep inside that it's not based on the circumstances around them, that it's based on the connection between you and God. And that's what this blessed life, thankful, grateful, blessed. If we're going to live in this blessed life, if we're going to embody this characteristic of a blessed life, then we have to remain and have the attitude of being poor in spirit. And when we do, when we remember that we are poor in spirit, that we're nothing without Jesus, then that is when we can inherit the kingdom of heaven. That is when whatever's happening in life, I'm looking at my notes, sorry. Whatever is happening in our life, we can remember that this is just what it looks like on the outside. This is the stress. This is the muck of the world. But I know that my treasure is in heaven, and I know that the kingdom of heaven is blessed, that my position of being poor in spirit makes me blessed. And if I am blessed by God, then I have access to his kingdom, and his kingdom covers me. And again, these are some kind of fruity words. I wouldn't really choose to use these words in my common speak today because they just sound so cute and so pretty. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom. But we got to get this knowledge deep down in our heart and recognize that being poor in spirit is the prerequisite that we need to be able to receive the kingdom of heaven and access it. Friends, this is just part one of a couple of days into this. In fact, I might even pop on every day just because these are some big girl stuff and I really enjoy teaching this and talking this through with you. But today, this is what I want you to do. I want you to get this understanding. Take some time today in your journal to write out a prayer that expresses your need for God. Thank him for the richness that he's added to your life. So I want you to write in your journal, God, I want to remember that I am poor in spirit, that I have nothing, I can bring nothing to the table if you're not there. And remind yourself, just kind of like we've been doing this week, the last couple of weeks, looking back to remind ourselves what God is doing. Look back and remember, God, this is where I was, and this is what you have brought to my table. These are the finances. These are the people you've brought in my life. This is the church you've brought in my life. I am nothing without you. God, thank you for that. And then whatever circumstance that you're looking at this week, this month, this year, I want you to put that in perspective. God, you're bigger. You are bigger than that mountain that I'm looking at. You are bigger than whatever it looks like in front of me. You're bigger than that. Your kingdom and your authority is so much bigger than that, God. So I remain humbled. I remain in the attitude of recognizing that I am nothing without you. And I and be able to access the blessed life if I recognize that it is your kingdom. You are in control, and I'm going to trust you with my life. That is my prayer for you today, friends. I'm going to pray and close this out, and then I want to just kind of talk with you for a minute, share some details and ways to connect. God, I thank you so much. I thank you on this Monday as we're kicking off week 3 of this 4-week series. And we're focusing on blessed, what it means to be blessed. God, I pray that you would help us to really look at this chapter, these few verses this week, and really look at our lives and examine our lives. Are we embodying these characteristics? Are we going? Are we working towards these characteristics? Because we want to be identified as Christ followers. We want people to look at our lives and go, man, they are Christians. They are doing what they can to follow you. And I want the blessings in my life, not the curses in my life. I want to make sure my life is aligning to your word, and that way I can access all of the blessings that come with being a follower of Christ. God, I pray for those this morning that are looking at mountains in front of them and they're worried and they're concerned. God, I pray that this perspective change of remembering that they have nothing to bring to the table, but being a Christ follower and having a connection with you means that you are on the throne, that you are in control of our life, and that your kingdom of heaven is now at our disposal. We have access to your kingdom, God. In your word, you tell us that as followers of Christ, we have authority. We have authority to call to our mountain and tell that mountain to move. We have authority. If we have that authority and we have the faith coupled with that, then we should not fear. God, I pray for those that are fearing whatever they're facing this morning. God, I pray that that fear would be removed, that anxiety would be removed, God, and that you would remind them, yes, we are poor in spirit, but we have the richness of the kingdom of heaven at our disposal. So we will lift our head. We will find the joy. We will find the blessings in our life. And we will make sure that we tell the world about how great our God is, that we tell that mountain in front of us, that issue, that finance, that health concern, that we are followers of Christ, and whatever is ahead of us, we know that the kingdom of heaven is going to be a part of it. It is going to bless us. It is going to bless those around us, and we're going to hold our heads high and have the joy of the Lord be our strength this week, God. We praise you. We thank you for carrying us through this week, and we're just getting closer and closer to Thanksgiving, and what a special time it will be, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Friends, just a couple of things. I won't take you long, but if you're having a hard time, if you're on Facebook and you're having a hard time connecting, maybe you're missing some of the algorithms and whatnot, I really would tell you to go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you hit the notifications, because that will, if you have YouTube on your phone, it will come up right on your phone. And let you know what's going on when I'm live. I also want to apologize for not posting videos this week. I had an opportunity to spend some time with family the last few days, and I just my soul needed it. I needed to pick up and just go be with family, which was so great and such a blessing. So I kind of left everything aside. I know you'll forgive me, but I just want to make sure that you know. What else? Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube because that's how you're going to get the details. And I will pop on. I don't know. I kind of like this series. I might pop on this whole week, every day. I don't know. But you can be connected if you're subscribed, if you make sure you get all those notifications, and make sure you comment. If you really like going live and this is what you prefer, then please let me know in the comments and I can try to make that happen. But I'm always trying to tweak and grow and give you what you need so we can do this live together. Oh, also, I will say if you missed the parenting conference and that's something that you wanted to attend, I will post that link. I'll find that link and post it in the private Facebook group because it is online. And yeah, it was a blessing and such a cool honor to be able to share that part of my life and talk about parenting. So anyhow, I will talk to you later. You guys have an awesome Monday. And I'm getting another niece today. My sister-in-law is having a baby. So it's going to be a blessed. Bye.